again. So today I want to talk about the importance of having conversations with children and how conversations can be a powerful tool that can encourage thinking skills in children. Okay, let me try and demonstrate it through an example. Right, we all tell stories to our children, right? For instance, hare and tortoise story, right? What do? We tell, okay, there was a hare, there was a tortoise, they had a bet, then they had the race, hare slept, tortoise won, and that's the end of the story. And then we'll say, moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race. Now, the possibility there is, instead of telling children the moral of the story, how about you asking children, right? What do they think is the moral of the story? Now, if you really think about it, is slow and steady wins a race really the moral of the story? Couldn't it be like don't underestimate your opponent? Or couldn't it be a totally different point of view where, okay, on the day of the race, hare was not feeling well, or hare did not think, it's a great deal to beat a tortoise? There could be so many different versions, right? So the point is to encourage children, tell the story, ask them their perspective. What did they think about the story, right? So this is just a very small example of how to even use a story as a conversation tool, right? Like the Greek philosopher Socrates has said, we cannot teach anyone anything. Okay, we can only encourage them to think. Likewise, thinking skills also cannot be taught, but these are all tools and techniques to encourage thinking in children. Now this conversations using stories is just one such example. There could be many such topics. Another question I often get is when do we do this, right? What is the right time to do this? I would say you can do it anytime. And these days, a lot of working parents feel very guilty about not having enough time for the children, right? And again, quality is more important than quantity, right? So whenever you get the time, whether it's a dinner table conversation or whether you are as a family in a car going somewhere, that's the best time, at least in my opinion, in my experience, that is a very good time to have these conversations. If as a family you have the habit of reading newspaper in the morning, have children also sit with you, right? And take up any topics. So that is the time part. Now topics. It can be a story, a fairy tale, a folklore, a proverb, something that is happening in the current affairs, right? Whether it is the Russia-Ukraine war or the general elections coming up, anything. The important thing is, don't protect the child so much from the bad news and the ugly news of the world. Have the conversation, give your point of view, listen what they have to say also. And most often, children will surprise you. And that is what I have seen in my sessions, especially in the recently concluded sessions for around the world. Our style is to ask a lot of questions. Sometimes the questions are even provoking. But it's amazing when given a chance how the children respond, right? For example, when we were discussing Brazil, okay, Portuguese is the national language of Brazil, and there's a reason why Portuguese is the national language of Brazil, because Portuguese people ruled over the country, right? Then we asked, okay, if Portuguese became the national language of Brazil, how come English is not the national language of India? Even Britishers were here, right? We were colonized by Britishers. So how come English is not the national language of India? Then that initiates a conversation that makes the children think. That's another example of how even topics in history, topics from geography, anything can be used as a conversation. And this is a very powerful tool, improve thinking skills in children. And I highly recommend, as parents, as teachers, as anyone who's interacting with children, use this powerful tool in daily life to improve your thinking skills in children.